For this M72 barrel population, starting out here at the rear sight block, we just have the barrel tool clamped to a surface plate, and we're just bringing up a couple of squares alongside the handguard retainer. Once that's where we want it, we'll just take the hammer and get it tapped in place before we bring it over to the press and send it to its final position. Now, if you're a big proponent of building these things up correctly and using original dimensions, you're going to have a little sheet that tells you where the components were actually located originally on the barrel. So on this M72, we got 1.730 from the end of the barrel to the beginning of the rear sight block's journal area. So in this press setup, we're just going to press. We've got a little block. It's 1.730 in length. Once they interact, it can't go any further, so your dimension is set.
This was one of the first times using this modified log splitter press, so kind of taking it slow, but really handy to use. It's really nice to be standing upright and just working horizontally, so this thing's a blast. You can see that the stop block has set the distance, and what this is going to do is make it so that when you put the top cover on, it's going to fit the way it was supposed to fit.
This setup is being used to get the gas block aligned. 2 squares standing up the rear sight block, then the recreator block holding the gas block upright. Let's give it a little shot with a hammer, and let's take it over to the press. Now, once you're about ready to start pressing that gas block on, just do one quick check. Make sure that you still have your lower handguard retainer on there, and also the sling loop on these M72s. That needs to be in place now. If you don't do it now, you'll be very upset at yourself, so just take a quick second and make sure they're there. Our reference number between here and here is 7.255. But we're going to definitely try it. We're going to keep trying it and see what actually is perfect for this. Here's how the front sight block is being aligned. The rear sight block is being sandwiched between these 2 squares, while the barrel is supported on this V-block. Up front, the front sight block's in the recreator barrel tool, and we'll just give it a little tap and then take it over to the press. All right, so we're going to put the front sight block in here in the vertical press. Make sure you're standing upright. The breech is protected with a little sheet of copper. And we're just gonna bring her in. She goes nice. Now we wanna be sure that we don't jam this up so it can't twist. So we'll keep it straight. Then when we get close, we'll just back off. This is one of those ones where you might want to just tap it with a hammer.
And what's meant by tapping it with a hammer is the barrel's already under pressure, and just take the hammer and tap on the press so that it upsets it and just gets the part to jump a little bit.
Perfect.